Hey guys, I'm Violet Ray, and I normally don't do first impressions, flip-throughs, because there usually is a million and one videos already made about most of the decks. But I was very excited when I found this deck, and I really wanted to share, and then when I tried to find things, other people's experiences, there really wasn't that many. There weren't reviews, there were flip-throughs. So I figured I would do my first impression on it, and I was just so excited I couldn't help but want to talk about it. So I got the Gothic Tarot, and the artwork is by Joseph Vargo. He's from Cleveland. I absolutely love his work so much. I don't know if you could hear the music, but I decided to play their music in the background. Nox Arcana, and they're amazing. I hope I'm saying that right. I love them. I love them so much. When I did a music video for Midnight Syndicate, I did a lot of horror conventions and things like that. And if you are a horror fan, and if you go to horror conventions, you most likely have heard them and you've seen his work. They're usually selling all their CDs around Halloween time at Party Cities, any costume shops. You'll hear it at haunted houses, any haunted attraction, you know, Six Flags, I'm sure, like Universal Studios plays them and all of that. So you've heard them, you just might not know where you've heard it from or where you've seen their work at. But I got to meet Joseph at, was it in Philly or was it here in Chicago? It was either a Flashback weekend years ago. This must have been like 7 years ago. Or Horror Hound. There's so many horror conventions nowadays, I don't know. But he was amazing. He was a sweetheart. He had so much work. You know, his work is on journals, he does short stories. I mean, he's everywhere. Of course they play an ad when I'm just trying to play their music. So, but what I absolutely love about his work is that you go into another realm looking at his work. You no longer are here, you are in your imagination. And they take you there. They take you there with their images, and he takes you there with their music. That's the biggest thing for me, because when you're doing a reading, you definitely want to... It's those juicy decks that really help you and are great when you just want to dive into them. And this is one of those for me. I'm a huge horror fan. His imagery has always pulled me in, and I don't know how I didn't know that he had this until now. Now, there is a companion book. I did not purchase it, only because I was reading that, you know, the images that he chose, they were not... He didn't create this for tarot. It's pre-existing images that he has made. I'm sure they tweaked it or did something, or maybe he did a couple, but this tarot deck was not, his artwork did not revolve around the meanings for each card. So that being said, of course there's going to be cards that probably don't match up or are a little bit trickier, which again are juicy. It makes you dive in, it makes you look at it. I don't really see that as a negative. I know most people do. Yeah, they also, the people who brought this out, Monolith Graphics, I believe I'm saying that right, they also did Madame Endora's Fortune Cards Oracle deck. These are the only Oracle cards I use. So as soon as I found that out, I was like, hell yeah, because that's my go-to Oracle. And I have a good 24 Oracle decks, so that's always my go-to. So this is the little white book that comes with it. It is a better quality than your regular little white book. It does have on the back. It does go through each of the cards, and the pages are a little wider than normal, and the paper is actually very nice to the touch. Basic meaning and basic reversals. You're not really diving in too much, which is kind of making me think maybe after I personally journal and work with each of these cards, maybe after I'll get the companion book to read his interpretations. I think that might be a thing I do. But with this, the interesting thing is he does have a spread, the Mystic 7, that looks really interesting. And it is a 7-card spread, and then of course the Celtic Cross. I really love it when they put their own spread in here. I think it'll be great. It kind of reminds me of the Zodiac spread. Oh, sorry. And it is a basic question spread, so you can use it towards any and all questions. It's not a specific type of spread, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, the Major Arcana's down here. Okay. So, my first feeling, well, I guess I should talk about the cardstock. It feels exactly like Madame Endora's. These are a little bent already, and I bought them slightly used. They were still new. They still look gorgeous, so that's not great, but I wonder, me just playing with it, yeah, it does look like they do get a slight arch to them. Another thing that I noticed, they are the exact same size as Madame Endora's Fortune cards. Again, like Madame Endora's Fortune cards, no gilding, and that sucks because you get this awful manufactured looking lines glazed through it, sides on the gilding. It's not pretty. They're new and they already look beat up just because the edges are like that. And my Madame Endora's was the exact same way. I don't understand it. There's just so many decks doing so many awesome things with the gilding now. So what I did, let me change the song because it sounds too Christmassy. Sounds like Yule. So with my Oracle cards, it was the exact same way, but I modified it and I used black ink pads. Did one by one. It took a very long time for them to dry, but you get that solid black, beautiful edging. And look at how pretty that is. And the backs as well. Get that nice, solid black. And these were the exact same way as these. I keep putting my Major Arcana stuff out. So yeah. They were the exact same way. So you get it. And they're the same size, so you can tell it's gonna make a big difference when I do modify these. They're gonna be a million times better with the black gilding. I promise you. The images pop a million times more. They look newer even if they're not. Gilding does so much good for them. So that's one thing. The energy I feel is very, very masculine. That's not a negative thing. It's just something that I notice that I feel off of it, which makes me feel like I'm going to get very, like, rash type of readings out of it. Not rash in a negative way. How should I say this? I'll be able to dive in more on the shadow side, and it's going to be straight to the point, I feel. And I'm not saying that because it's a gothic or dark deck. I'm just saying because the images do pull you in, and it's this, you know, it's that what you get is what you say, and the backing, this is the back. So it is pretty masculine. And then I'll show you all the aces. All in red with that design. Yeah. The Ace of Cups and Wands. Sorry, I'm trying to not get the light. Yeah, so I just feel it's very strong, determined type of deck already. I'm really excited to get working with it. So here is the Fool. It's coming out into what he has no idea. He's coming from a beautiful dark castle. He has to bring his wolf to protect him. His wolf is going to protect him because he doesn't even know what he's walking out into. We got all those crows at the top. Wow. The wolf's eyes are beautiful. Looks like we have the green man on the sides too. It's just stunning. It's so stunning. The Magician, oh my gosh. So each of them are holding one of the elements. Wow. The High Priestess is definitely guarding secrets, but pulling you in as she does it. Again, it's just, it's gorgeous and I love it, but I get a very, very masculine feeling. The Empress, you know, this is someone, she's in shock and like she's scared, or she's just waking up from being put down. The angel skeletons on the side are signifying to me that like maybe she passed away, maybe this is her next life. I don't know. I might have to get the book to see, because you don't really think of this when you think Empress. Which again is okay. I don't mind. The Emperor. Since it's a first impressions, I'm going to say what came to my mind, but it just looks like a guy with his hose. Like some rap video. Like, look at me with all these girls that I have to do my bidding. Like eye roll. I'm trying to love it because I love everything else about this deck. I'm trying to just fall in love with it. Okay, the High Priest. This definitely makes me think of Nosferatu. It's really cool. It's again in the same frame, just a different card with a different character. I don't know if I like that. They're so different from each other. Like, I do not get strict belief system or anything like that off of this High Priest, which would be the Hierophant. The Lovers is pretty adorable, again in the same doorway. It's very romantic. It looks like the Empress and... Is it the Empress and the Emperor? I don't know if that's the Empress and the Emperor, but it looks like it. I will say this Chariot, I adore. It reminds me of Sleepy Hollow. It looks gorgeous. It's definitely, you know, on a mission. And the scenery is stunning, and he's wearing a mask, which is really interesting to me. There's cracks in the floor in the foreground, and in the background there's so much fog you can barely see the trees or the sky. It's coming clearer as it comes closer, which is really cool. This Justice card, though, yes. Look at how gorgeous is she. Of course, like, they all have perfect cleavage. A guy made this, guys. I love the guy that made this, but I'm just saying, obviously a guy made this. It doesn't put me off, though. I really love her. She's really strong. There's definitely going to be some type of backlash for your decision, good or bad. So I do get that energy off of her. I do get that she is fire. I do get that it's coming quick. Which normally from a Justice card, I don't really get that urgent type of feeling. It's more of, it's just the effects that are going to happen from the decision. So this is really interesting. This has to be Nosferatu, the Hermit. Oh, that's so cool. There's bats flying out. He's in a bell tower. Oh, like, stunning. Alright, I'll show you guys. My gosh. I love it. Oh, it's so good. This is interesting. The Wheel of Fortune. This reminds me of the Circle Oracle card from this deck. From Madame Fortuna's. Yeah. The Mystic Circle. It's kind of like if they're both using dragons. I think this is the Green Man. There's runes in the Oracle, but it looks like kind of something similar to the Trinity sign, and both have dragons. I don't know if I'm getting the glare or not. Yeah, so this is the Oracle, and it is more about learning and discovering and understanding and really unlocking those ancient symbols. And it may be part of your ancestry what you're learning. And with this, the Wheel of Fortune, I'm not really getting that things are turning, or that, you know, I get it's the circle of life, and then things happen, restart, so I guess he's going off of something like that, but there's no movement in it for me. It's very like a stamp, like, here, move on. But part of what I get from the Green Man, though, is too that nature is always on your side, pushing you forward, just like the seasons move on. So maybe it's just a card that's not meant to move quickly, which I guess it doesn't feel energetically balanced with this deck, since it does seem a bit more masculine and fiery. Strength. I don't know. The strength not to jump, or the strength of the wind keeping you back? I'm definitely going to have to journal with each of these cards before I do the companion book, and then maybe do the companion book. Strength to not jump off the edge. I mean, it just seems like it goes way far an inner confidence that she's not going to fall. I guess I could see it that way. This is pretty cool. The Hanged Man. That's really awesome. They cover up his genitalia. It's like a skeleton. They show everything else and his ribs, and then it just goes dark. It's just kind of weird. Like either show it or don't. I don't know. It's just me. I get it though. I do really, really love this death card. So, okay. There is a crow. There is a cross. I don't know if I love the cross, but maybe he's at a graveyard. That's why. It just seems more like lurking. Like when you get the death card, things are transitioning, you know, it's kind of like a phoenix. You've come through so much, and with this, I don't get that, like, you're in that transition. I get that, like, it's still lurking. You're still in that negative spot. Temperance. Okay. I can do this. It looks like she's in front of some type of cauldron with fire, and in her 2 cups, she's trying to balance the water or the air. I would think water, but it looks smoky. So it probably is air. A little bit too much partying. The devil. Okay. It just seems very Christian to me. Like a basic demon style bat, but you get the idea. I do love the colors used. And of course, what you need to get out of it, you do. You know, they're slaves. They've given their power up. Their chains. The problem is, traditionally, with the devil card, they are chained to the devil. However, their chains are loose enough that they could get themselves out if they could only stop and think about things and realize things. They don't realize they could just get out of it. Here, it shows they're trying to get out of it and they cannot. So that doesn't fit me very well. It shows much more of a struggle and much more of a uphill battle than just addictions and, you know, like they can't get out of it, they can't break free. They're trying, but they can't. And the other one, they didn't even know that they could get out. Here, it's just kind of like, I don't want to say it's making me lose hope, but it's just showing more of a struggle. Okay, the tower. As much as I love it, the energy you're supposed to get off of it is not as extreme as I would have loved. I mean, it shows lightning and a stormy sky. It's waiting at the stairs. It's a full moon, so there could be some chaos, is what I'm feeling that they're trying to bring out. But like, what type of new foundation are we making? What are you losing here? What has turned your world upside down? Like, I don't see it. The the star. I actually do think this is quite beautiful. It does show balance as much as, you know, hope and faith, and it is beautiful. Okay, the moon. I actually really adore this card. But the moon is about illusion, confusion, being disillusioned from something. And this is just, it's beautiful, but we have Medusa, we have a death, we have, is that the horn band? And possibly a devil. And it looks like some type of, two type of devil angels, fallen angels on the moon together. Some type of secret I'm getting, or I love it. I love it regardless. It's gorgeous. The sun. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. The sun we're used to seeing, you know, so much joy and happiness, and this looks like they just came from a battle. Maybe a battle won. Wow. These do feel tougher. Judgments. I think we stayed kind of religious with this. There's an angel statue and she's looking up to it as if she's being judged. Judgment to me isn't really like judgment, like I'm going to get judged by God or angels. It's more rising to your calling, you know, finally stepping up to do what you feel your path is now. And this, I just feel like she's getting scolded right now. But it's a beautiful and haunting image, because she's kind of not there. So maybe she hasn't moved on yet. And the world. Okay. I'm getting death, I'm getting life, I'm getting rebirth, I'm getting... I guess it's not what you expect from the world, but you still get that same life and death and struggle and coming full circle. They are angels fighting demons. It's really interesting. It's something that I really enjoy, that it pushes you to look into it and to really study it and sit with it for a minute. I'm really looking forward to journaling with these cards and meditating with them. They just spark so much creativity, and like I said, they really do take you to another realm. They do let you dive in. And I don't want to say that just because the meaning of the cards are not matching the imagery that's a negative thing for me. It's just something I'm going to have to work with, which I enjoy. And again, it's creating a story. Now, with these aces already. Okay, red, a lot of fire in this cup. But cups 2 and 3, I'm not a fan of them kind of looking the same when they definitely are nothing alike. I wish there could have been more, especially with all the characters they're using, and for these two cards it's all about interacting with others, whether it's one other person or a group of other people. It could have been a really good chance to set a very eerie scene of get-togethers. I'll just say that. Four of Cups. I guess I could see it. The little guy over here is just kind of bored while everyone else is doing their own thing. Five of Cups. Okay. It kind of feels like he's not as depressed as you would think. It's more like he's trying to think about what to do to this person that wronged him, is what I get. And you know, I say this is a very masculine deck, but the ones that the women are on, some of them are very whimsical and romantic. Here we have the Six of Cups. She's kind of sitting outside. This I really, really, really think is badass. The Seven of Cups, it looks like she opened Pandora's box. And there's so many different spirits in there trying to get her attention. It's almost like she's possessed or channeling, and maybe not channeling the right one. Eight of Cups. I guess this does kind of remind me of the Judgment card when we assumed that maybe she is moving on or has moved on or trying to move on. Here, now she finally is moving on. I don't know if that's the Angel of Death, but now she's finally accepting her death, maybe. That's really cool. The Nine of Cups. This I love. I actually really do love Egyptian work, and you know, mastering that coffin and all that's around them. It's gorgeous. All that hard work and dedication to make that. I can connect that very well. Ten of Cups. This, it feels a little tongue-in-cheek, like, oh, we're just amazing lovers and have a beautiful love and home life, and of course I'm just gonna suck his blood, no big deal. Like, I love it. It's pretty cool. She don't need no man. She could get her own blood. She doesn't need it brought to her. Knave, Knight. Here they don't have the page or the princess. They have the knave and the knight. That's the knave. This is actually really beautiful. Queen of Cups. Wow. This is interesting. I'm going to try not to talk too much about every single card. Okay, so those were the cups. Let's do swords next. So we saw the ace already. One of the cards that I always look at, other than death, is the Three of Swords. So This is a 2. This is supposed to be a card that indicates you cutting off. Your mind and your heart are not meeting, and it just feels like a lot of mind. Doesn't feel like it plays into the heart. This, yes, because literally it's going through a heart. This kind of stems from the traditional Rider-Waite. This I adore. I absolutely adore. I feel like they could not have gotten so far. This is the best image with its card and its meaning, and it's the 4 of Swords. To me, that's beautiful. Eternal rest. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. 5 of Swords, this is really cool. The king's head is on a spear or scepter, and this Joker is sitting in his throne. Sorry if I'm getting out of frame, my leg keeps falling asleep. While all of these swords are in other skulls. A lot of conflict, a lot of petty trickery, nonsense. Everyone loves the 5s, right? The 6 of Swords. Okay. Well, instead of getting the feeling of like I'm moving on, some type of regretful decision I had to make, but necessary, I'm getting a I'm coming back to battle you type of feeling. Almost like they're not ready to move on, or maybe they've just finished the battle. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to make it that in my head. 7 of Swords. Again, beautiful, but I'll just show you. This needed to be a very, very powerful card, and it's just more like it's beautiful, but I wish I could have been there with him when he was, you know, putting images to the meanings. I'm gonna have to read the book. I'm just gonna shut up about what doesn't go, because I'm gonna make it work. Okay. Nine of Swords. This is quite spot on and literal. 10 of Swords. Knave of Swords. Knight. It's quite interesting. It's the most color it's been in. Okay, let's do the aces. Saw the aces already. Okay, well at least the first two are different. Two of Wands. Three of Wands. This is really cool. This Five of Wands, oh, is so badass. Look at this. Definitely petty conflicts and egos going on in there. That's cool. I don't think I would recommend this deck for beginners because it's really going to throw you off. I mean, even me, just like, I had to be like, okay, what numeral? I know numerals, but I had to be like, what? Because, again, because it doesn't match what it's supposed to mean, it's going to really confuse you for a minute. Wands. I don't think someone who is new can use this yet. Maybe immediate, yes. The Knave. Again, the Knight, they're using more color in the Knight. I'm guessing because more fire energy. It's really beautiful. Queen of Wands. I love that there's that wolf here with her. I connect a lot with the Queen of Wands, always. This is definitely a card I always look at. She's an Aries, like myself, so I usually use her as my significator. And my spirit animal is a wolf. It's really cool. He's got like blood on his teeth and his knuckles. King of Wands. This is awesome. I'm happy with that one. Alright, Wands a little more. Okay. Two of Pentacles. Are showing that imbalance. Three of Pentacles. It's like the crows are working together to make this face miserable. That's their job. I don't get greedy or pinching pennies out of this, but what I do get is a seductress trying to control this statue creature. Okay, Nosferatu and the Five of Pentacles. It's really cool. Six Pentacles. She might be asking for charity rather than giving. Seven of Pentacles. I do appreciate that the pentacles are on a column. It does make it easier to just kind of tie it back together, that it's the Nine of Pentacles quicker. because it does reference kind of like the traditional Nine of Pentacles. Okay, I can do that. I can do this. Ten of Pentacles, again. He's carrying someone, like, but I guess I can see it's self-fulfilling, like, or self-efficient. You can get your own girl. Oh my gosh. These are going to be some interesting meditations, I can tell you that right now. Okay, this night is actually more the darker end, which is interesting since it is Earth, you would think. No. There's more wolves. Makes sense. Makes sense to me now. And the Queen of Pentacles. And finally the King of Pentacles. And I actually think this is my favorite, one of my favorite kings so far in this deck. It just shows the grander scale of material. It's wonderful. So that is the whole deck. I'm thinking about doing the spread right now. I already cleansed them when I got them this morning. And probably the Mystic 7, and I always do new deck spread. It's usually a 5-card spread, and get to know it more and see how that goes. And I guess now that we went through them all, I can see how they shuffle. So let's put them all together. And they are quite thick and stocky. Let me see, where's my... Should I use this deck or should I use... I guess I'll just use this one. So this is my Witch's Tarot deck. And let's see. Alright. Ah! Sorry guys. So it is a little bit thicker than your standard tarot, which really doesn't bother me too bad. I mean, I did get used to this. This is kind of like the perfect feeling of tarot, the standard size. Same type of stock. I don't mind it. And if you read reversals, I should have mentioned this, you're definitely going to know what side is up and what side is not if that bothers you. I know it bothers a lot of people. It doesn't really bother me. I flip them all over right away anyway. Pretty beautiful. Not bad for being so thick. That's what she said. They're a bit clunky, and again, like I said, they do have a slight bend to them already, but damn, yeah, I guess I did get used to the standard size a little bit. Okay, we can do this. I shuffle both ways. I shuffle the poker style, I shuffle sideways, I shuffle every which way. Found that one. I think I saw one that was right side up. If it's meant to come out, it will. So yeah, I think you do have to get used to it for a minute to shuffle, just because it is so much bigger and wider, but it does shuffle fine. It does stick a little bit. It's a little bit of a take a second to get used to it. The reason why you don't really have that problem with this is because there's not as many cards. So this is really simple, but since there's so many more cards in that one, it's a little clunky. So I hope you guys liked this little first impression video. Let me know how it's been working with you guys. I've been hearing amazing responses, and I will share the spread that they share in here, the Mystic 7 spread, and we'll see how that goes. I'll do the Mystic 7 and the new deck spread to kind of get to know it a little bit. Alright, I think that's it. So I hope you guys liked it. Again, let me know your encounters with this deck. That'd be really cool. And I'm really, really excited. Even though, like, now that I got to look at every single card and tried to fit the meanings, the traditional meanings, or what I'm used to dealing with, into pre-existing images that were not meant to be for this. Like, I just need to get over that little first bump, and then we'll be good. It's, again, I'm being honest, it's my first impression, but I'm so excited to work with this deck, and I know I'm going to get some great readings out of it. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!